because it's 5 stone in weight.
Good God.
Hello, Jimjamatic here. Welcome to another episode of Robot Wars Episode Reviews. I'm back after being dead, I guess, for 3 months. Joining me, of course, are two of my regulars, actually my oldest regulars, actually. First one being Anderson9132.
Hey guys, good to be back.
And, of course, SanElliott64.
Oh yeah, it's a old school reunion here. This is some 2016 shit. This is right now.
Wow, back
It
in
doesn't
the day.
sound so old school when you say that, does it? 2016.
No,
But it is.
not really.
Oh, that was the year the apocalypse happened with celebrities, wasn't it? I remember now.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
But yeah, of course, it's the Annihilator episode, Annihilator 2. This one is plagued by so much fuckery, with robots going out, robots getting replaced. I mean, only that's put a vengeance battle in just to fill in the numbers because of how little battles happened in this heat. But the battles we got were at least had some entertainment into them. They had some destruction at least. One of the better robots won in the end. At least it wasn't like Napalm managed to win the heat or something. So at least a good robot won.
I mean,
Napalm.
Napalm was in this. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. So actually, we might as well reminds the folks.
They beat Gemini. I mean, the Spider. Yeah, I could see that. But Gemini, come on, boys.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, actually, speaking of Napalm, I might as well go over the robots actually in this. Obviously, starting with, we've mentioned it. We might as well carry on with Napalm too. Yeah, beating. The Spider, yeah, kind of killed itself, and it never had that much luck at all, really, in the extreme. But Gemini, getting beached on its things like the bars that stopped it from being beached is kind of ironic in itself.
Yeah, but got beached on its wheelie bars to stop it because they was trying to stop it from wheeling, and instead they stopped it from self-righting.
Yeah, it's a good trade-off, I guess.
Oh.
I mean, I just can't with Gemini. Gemini is probably the most frustrating robot ever.
Easy, yeah. Worst robot ever. Napalm deserved to
win.
No,
not the worst, but not by any means the worst. It's just very frustrating, I think, is fair to say.
I think it's up there along with Mortis, a couple of others which have escaped my head completely right now. Premier underachievers, as Craig Charles used to put it.
Yeah, I don't Berserk.
I like how we're talking more about Gemini here, by the way. I like how we're talking more about Gemini than we are Napalm, who's actually in the damn thing. But I want to say this actually about Napalm. Both Bulldog Breed and Atomic had to pull out, which we'll get to in a bit, because they were too damaged from previous battles.
Yeah.
Why didn't Napalm pull out? Because let's be fair now, that thing had to be pushed into the arena at the beginning.
I mean, I'm
guessing it travelling sideways, for fuck's sake.
I guess they had some repair time, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
or maybe I don't know. Maybe they just said, "Screw it, we're probably going to lose anyway. Let's get wrecked in the first round." Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, speaking of getting wrecked, Fighting Talk, Hippobotomus, sorry. Yeah.
What happened to Fighting Talk as well? I don't know.
Oh my!
What happened to Team Talk? I mean, for God's sake, these guys made all talk in Series 2 and 3. Another bloody sandpit with skateboard wheels.
Yes, and now that's the thing.
Upset.
Obviously, the brief reason why they're actually here and not Atomic 2. I mean, hell, why did they bring Mousetrap in? I don't know. But Atomic 2, yeah, got destroyed. The first one of 2 robots to get knocked out by Hypnodisc in this for this.
You say why didn't they bring in Mousetrap? Mousetrap got fucked up by S3, so
yeah. So
I can see why.
They were left with a children's sandpit with an axe hammer on it. It's like a saw, but it's also a hammer. I still don't know exactly what that's supposed to be, but this thing annoys me.
You know, Whiplash from BattleBots. This is the prototype all those years ago.
The prototype. I mean, bear in mind this robot.
No,
its top panel always flies upwards. Like it never stops exposing its innards at any point. It just seems to just not care.
It walks around like a rodeo bull as well.
It does. It's so stupid. Like, I just look back at Series 2 and 3 and go, where did you go wrong? Even Small Talk, which I'm not a big fan of, but at least that's a robot. This is a children's sandpit with electronics inside it.
Fighting Talk was a robot compared to this.
Yeah.
let's face it. I don't mind Hippobotomus. It's not like it has personality at least, which is something.
But yeah, it does. But
see, I wouldn't mind so much if it was a comedy entry. But the thing is, by considering how genuinely shocked they were at losing in the first round against Stinger, I don't think they actually were joking. I legitimately think they actually thought they had a chance with this thing, and therefore I'm upset.
Then we'll go to a robot I actually like a lot more. Obviously, we'll go to Steel Avenger, who, very surprisingly, were in one of the few battles where Tornado broke down, which is
Tornado never broke down.
And I think and then obviously they knocked the wheel off King B, so then obviously they deservedly got the judge's decision. And Steel Avenger, it's one of those robots I've always said is very hit and miss. Like I like it, but then it always seems to I never seem to remember it. Yeah, I know it's a robot that's constantly there, and I can never explain why it's a robot. I always forget. I mean, I forgot it was in the Annihilator. I had to remind myself when I watched the episode it was in there, because it didn't do that much, considering. But
that was a very perfect analogy of it, by the way, hit and miss, because that's pretty much what it did with its axe constantly. It would get one hit in, and it would miss, and it would get one hit in, and it would... No, I do like Steely. I like Steely. It's a cool little... I mean, it's one of those robots where you know it's not going to go very far each time it comes back, but you enjoy seeing it there. Yeah. It like sort of... It's one of those ones where you know that if it didn't come back one year, you know, it would feel a little bit...
You'd notice it was gone.
You noticed it was good on, yeah, definitely. And to be fair, it performed really good in that Mayhem. But that was a great Mayhem. Absolutely fantastic.
It was hands down the best. It was hands down the best battle for all the entrants here, anyway. Because it was one-sided or...
Yeah, of all the Mayhem battles for this Annihilator, it was the best one.
Definitely. Anything else to add up, Steel Avenger, Sam? Or
I mean, Steely was good, and it was quick around the arena. Had the great engineering prowess put into it. My only issue I had with Steel Avenger was I don't think it should have been here in the first place. I honestly thought that King B did enough, because obviously, as much as people, Jonathan Pierce was like, oh yeah, Matilda shouldn't have attacked Steel Avenger. No, she should have done, because it went in the CPZ. But
yes, I've always said that as well. Yeah.
It's understandable, but yeah, obviously they end up in here. Spirit of Nightmare. This is the only time, including obviously it's Annihilator battle, that you see it, because they didn't qualify for Series 5, which it's basically just a slightly different version of the original one in terms of design, and it has those weird little cutting things that look like they're made out of Meccano on the side, which I'm still not fully sure what they were supposed to be doing. I mean, it's one of those robots, a bit like, I think Mike describes, especially the early robots in Robot Wars, where, Mr. Psycho, if you don't know who I'm talking about, is like saying, that was the thing they used to do, just put loads of weapons on a robot, and then only one weapon would really be useful. Like, the flipper was the only thing that really did anything, the axes didn't do anything, the spinners didn't do anything. And Spirit of Nightmare, I'll give it credit, it was durable in the last fight. I mean, it didn't die in one hit or something like it did in Series 4. But...
No. I mean, it's not a terrible machine, is it, really? But...
No.
It also wasn't the best.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. I just considering the battle it was in, I kind of feel bad that Judge Dredd 2 didn't get a chance to go in instead. But this is another case of a robot getting destroyed by Hypnodisc and therefore being selected out of, I don't know, just randomly out of the two robots that were destroyed.
Remorse, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah, remorse for not letting them in. Obviously, they come back later with Raging Reality and Raging Nightmare, which are a lot better, but it's how it goes. Then of course you have the former reigning champion Panic Attack in here, who had I think probably had the easiest battle out of all the robots to get here.
Absolutely.
Definitely, yeah.
Deator and a random newcomer Shere Khan, who both got flipped over in one go. It wasn't really. It was going to happen no matter what. It's like Hypnodisc. There's always that one robot that gets in through really, really easily, and it was quite a surprise seeing them break down enough to actually have to withdraw from the battle, so they couldn't even make the penultimate round of the Annihilator because of it. But
see, what I find weird about its Mayhem battle was actually Shere Khan itself, because Shere Khan, unlike many newcomers that either saw in Series 5 or attempted to fight in qualify for Series 5 but failed to, Shere Khan didn't, but it failed to qualify for Series 4. Yeah. So if it didn't even try to qualify for Series 5, what the hell was it doing there to be in the battle in the first place?
I'm guessing they literally had just had no one left and just we'll stick those guys in.
Well, like I did say, to be fair, I mean, I remember quite a lot of the Mayhems weren't meant to be the way they were. A lot of robots, I mean, Storm, 3 Stakes to Heaven, many more that I can't remember the names of right now, were meant to actually be in the Mayhem battles, but they had to pull out for one reason or another. So they just grabbed a bunch of random ones, like Fluffy, for example. They were a replacement. Both of Exterminator's opponents in their melee, they were both replacements as well.
The legend that is Cataclysmic Variant.
And Panzer Wraith. What the hell Wraith means, I'll never know, but still, Panzer Wraith, baby! Yeah, no. So that's where it came from. But
yeah, and
Panzer Wraith.
They got him really easily, and of course then we have Disc-o-Inferno, the winner of the Annihilator. Sorry, spoilers. If you haven't seen the episode, then what a surprise! I mean, Disc-o-Inferno again, very unlucky in Series 4. I mean, again, the weapon wasn't as powerful in Series 4 compared to the series, but again, losing because you run into Shadow of Napalm. They got some revenge on Napalm, at least.
I just realised that. In all my years, I've just realised
they got some revenge on Napalm for, accidentally killing them, and now they just shredded them up and caused them not to be able, them in combination with Matilda made them unable to get into the next round, so... Yeah, Disc-o-Inferno got to actually do some stuff here. It got some nice destruction, ripped open the Sand Pit, ripped open Spirit of Nightmare, ripped over Napalm, as I said. It really only Steel Avenger was the only robot I think that didn't do like irreparable damage to, because it even knocked out Panic Attack as well. So
I'll say this right. I think out of all of them, I think Disc-o-Inferno probably had the most dominant display in its Mayhem qualifier.
It was the Hypnodisc one.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Of all of them, I think this was the one that basically proved that they belonged to be there the most. If that makes any sense. I mean, Panic Attack's a close second. I think Panic Attack, let's be fair, dominated theirs as well. But
I mean, their opponents were a bit less potent to say than.
And then Disc-o-Inferno did have Velociripper. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Velociripper, mate. That high quality machine that won many fights.
Tell you what, right? Razor was lucky, man, that they didn't just KO'd them in one shot. You know what I mean? I mean, they were lucky to get past the first round.
I mean, Velociraptor, the only robot I can think of that turns into a furry and actually does better. So that's all I can think of is that I'm the Velociraptor. That's my summation of Velociraptor to Mighty Mouse. But yes, Disc-o-Inferno, its opponents were so high quality, they were. And we actually get to round 1 of 3. Yeah, it's 3, not 5, like it should be.
Before we get into this, I want to ask both of yours opinions.
Okay.
Had Atomic and Bulldog Breed been in there, would either of them have won?
No.
No, but I could see at least Bulldog Breed putting up a good fight, because Atomic's bar was a little bit wimpier in this, easy came off like he did with Hypnodisc, but I think in Bulldog Breed's case, it could at least made it to the final, I think.
I tell you what, right, if all winners that have won, gone in...
I think Atomic would have been in the final, actually, because Bulldog Breed's flipper in Series 5 wasn't exactly on the floor. I know Atomic's was a little bit better, so I don't know, it's kind of... I'm not sure.
I would say that Hippobotomus or Napalm would go in round 1 and 2. It doesn't really matter; they're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Steely, I'd say Steely would go in round 3 like it did, and then I'd probably say.
Because Napalm, Hippobotomus wouldn't be there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course. Sorry. So Napalm, bye. So I'll get the fuck out of my arena. Then Steel Avenger. I probably then would say Bulldog Breed. I'm with Sam. I think Atomic would get a little bit further. I'd then say Panic Attack. Yeah, I'd probably say Atomic, Disc-o-Inferno, but I would say Disc-o-Inferno would probably win against.
For reasons.
Well, it's just I saw what Hypnodisc did to it, and whilst I know that Hypnodisc was more powerful than it, I still can't really see what Atomic could do to an invertible Hypnodisc if it couldn't beat a non-invertible one. So that's just the way I look at it.
Yeah, but to the actual battle though, there is something extremely satisfying about seeing Napalm stuck on top of Panic Attack, and then Steel Avenger giving it a little tap, and then Disc-o-Inferno just slamming in and taking half the side off. It's just, oh man! Again, it's sort of satisfying in a really horrible way. Because, I mean, Napalm. I mean, I don't like.
It's
Napalm.
not horrible. It's great.
Yeah, it is. I know it is. I mean, I think just because Napalm in particular just frustrates me of how surprisingly how you can go backwards from Napalm. And then also
it's not a terrible machine. It's just not a good one.
No,
That's like saying a car with 2 wheels is better than a car with 1 wheel. It's still crap.
True, but it just got bullied very quickly, and then the Hippo surprisingly stayed out of damage for most of the match until Disc-o-Inferno decided to just target, and as soon as Disc-o-Inferno went at it, it just ripped half the robot off. Like, you see all the innards everywhere. Like, it's that great shot where you see it from behind where Disc-o-Inferno whacks it, and just this whole half the robot just flies off, all the plastic.
And it does it so flamboyantly, like it doesn't drive into it, it spins into it.
Yeah.
It literally turns on the spot and just whacks it one, and that's it. Bye, see you later. What I like about this battle, though, is whilst I will admit Napalm did get a bit bullied at the beginning, as the battle went on, everybody started having a bit of a pop at each other. It wasn't just a case of, I mean, like for example, the first Extreme 1 Annihilator, it was basically a free-for-all for Hypnodisc.
Yeah.
Basically, it was a free-for-all hit with this.
Okay, in fairness, you have a target like hit the disc in there, like, and you're like,
You-
we can
you
make
go
a real
for it,
name for
yeah,
ourselves. Yeah, we can make a real name for ourselves. Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
And
But what I liked about this one was that they focused on the crap one, and then decided to attack each other as well. I quite enjoyed this first round battle. Plus, let's be fair, seeing Hippopotamus getting wrecked was feckin' beautiful.
I think most of JP's commentary was based off Hippobotomus. Like, again, to quote, this is a good quote for the episode. More activity and action do you see from a normal hippopotamus.
Well,
I mean,
what I
he's
love,
not
though-
wrong.
No.
What I love though, right, is he turned around and after seeing it, after seeing disc-o-inferno shred it to pieces, he turns around and says, "What's happened to the hippo? What do you think? You just saw it. It got absolutely wrecked.
It got gutted. It got gutted. That's how it just.
Yeah, it pretty much did, didn't it? Really.
It's funny because when you see its battle against Stinger in the main series, like you think, oh, that's decent damage to it, and then you forget, oh yeah, disc-o-inferno ripped it a new one. And that was real damage. I mean, my God.
question is, did they have 2 sandpits?
They must have brought a spare because they must have known they were in extreme. Maybe they're told in advance, like, oh, Tomic's lost or something, so you might need to bring him.
In fairness, the main chassis wasn't too damaged in Series 5, was it? It was just the head.
It was just the head and a bit of the plastics. They probably might have had like a spare one made, because they're probably obviously dirt cheap because of the plastic. So I imagine, they probably had a spare one. But again, I can't imagine them. They didn't survive long after that hit, because boy. And then obviously Matilda gets a little pot shot at Disc-o-Inferno and kills it right at the very end of the battle.
Yeah.
And
just, am I right thinking Spirit of Nightmare pushed it onto them, onto Matilda's flywheel?
Yeah. Spirit of Nightmare actually has done it's quite subtle in this Annihilator. You see it do quite a few things, like it takes out Steel Avenger, later on, but it's also just it just kind of hangs around, does its thing, and Panic Attack's similar. And Disc-o-Inferno is like the most active one of the lot, like most light in the limelight. But one thing I found funny is when watching the battle today is that you see Napalm just dead on the side of the arena wall, but very far in the background. You can barely see it because they don't really focus on it. And it's just no wonder they didn't get it back into the arena. You didn't see anything of this robot after it got first hit. So,
Nope.
They were just lucky that they were at least moving. I mean, Hippobotomus. I always call it fighting talk, but it is Hippobotomus. I'm sorry. It was out. I mean, there was no way this robot was going to survive. I mean, I don't know what chance I had from it. Really, it just the best it could do is get really lucky, like some of the earlier Spikosaurus battles in Series 4. But again, it wasn't as active as Spikosaurus. It wasn't as powerful as Spikosaurus. It's a plastic sandpit.
Yep.
So
that's all there is to say.
I like its main weakness is no self-righting mechanism. Not the fact it's made out of plastic.
The weakness was it was built. Thing. There we go.
Yeah, I think the sketch they drew on paper before they made the robot was more durable than the robot. It didn't do well. So yeah, the Hippo got I ripped a new one, and then we lost Napalm as well because they got beaten up as well. And to quote David Crosby, we've got 5 minutes. We need about 5 days. So yeah,
You really see it taking 5 days to fix Napalm? I don't even think it took 5 days to build the damn thing, let alone fix it. I mean, come on.
Good lord.
I'm surprised it took them 5 days to make it in the first place, honestly, but it's... Yeah, we lost 2 robots in one Annihilator round, so I guess we get rid of the weakest ones first, at least. So we go on to quote-unquote round 3, which really is round 2, but just... but they call it round 3 for some reason, but yeah, this is round... I'm calling it round 2, it's not round 3. Yeah,
round 2.5.
Yeah, round 2.5.
Edgy stuff there, Anderson, I like it.
And straight away, Steel Avengers flipped over. Like, it's just... it didn't last very long before it got flipped over straight away, and... Actually, you start noticing a bit of a botched job, because you see how these just metal plates just stuck, like, obviously just been welded or bolted on to the bottom of the robot. It's just these little square plates on the base plate, like it's a plaster. It doesn't look like it's been well put on, but it didn't affect the robot too badly, but they managed to self-right, because the self-righter worked at this point. And Disc-o-Inferno got a nice little pot shot on Panic Attack as well. I mean, I can't remember, did we actually see the hit that caused Panic Attack to break down at the end?
Yeah, I think they hit it hard on the back sometime during the battle, and that damaged it. It didn't damage it enough to kill it, but it damaged it enough that it wasn't fully controllable.
Yeah.
And of course, Kim tried his hardest to make it fully controllable. He's like, no, it's not happening. You know, I think it was a case of it was stuck in like it could only go babackwards or so. I don't exactly know off the top of my head, but I think it was in a predicament where there was something it couldn't do anymore, and he couldn't get it to work properly. So he thought, I may as well not bother entering if I can't get the machine to work properly.
Yeah, that's probably fair enough, and it just wasn't going to work in the end, really. And again, it was Spirit Nightmare that caused the KO in the end, which was pretty cool actually, because they were quite sneaky. Again, they're quite sneaky in this battle. Didn't do much, and then boom, flips over. I tell you, I do really like this battle because I thought it was very close up until Steel Avenger got killed. I thought everybody had a good shot at one another. I thought all four machines were in there and getting important hits on each other. It was a really good close fight, and to be honest, had that gone to the judges, I don't think I would have been able to pick a winner before up to that point. No, I wouldn't be able to really.
My only issue with that round was the fact that I think Steely did quite well to get through Panic Attack's armor skirts. Like, I was very surprised they were able to get through it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But there's a lot of people actually, right, who actually think that Steel Avenger did the damage to them, and it's like, what? Because it hit its skirts.
Yeah, the skirts.
You know, where there's no electronics whatsoever. In fact, that's what killed Panic Attack, isn't it?
I mean,
despite the fact that Kim Davis himself said, "Oh yeah, our magnets have been shagged out by disc-o-inferno." Yeah, apart from that, well, he didn't say it in that exact term, but you know.
I mean,
it might as well have done.
The axe isn't that good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was a very good tussle. Probably the best of the 3 rounds, in my opinion, just for the amount of like how even it was throughout the match. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was relatively very close between all the robots until that flipping over with Spirit of Nightmare flipping over Steel Avenger, and and then with their self-riding mechanism, as it seems to sometimes do, not work. It seems very hit and miss.
I'm surprised they didn't let Steely come back in. Because obviously, if Panic Attack's out, then why would they not let Steely back in? It makes no sense.
I think it was because Panic Attack was still moving, I think, in that round, so they were eliminated, but then they went as well.
I suppose they'd have to be consistent with the Southern Annihilator, wouldn't they? Because obviously, in that one, it was, like Behemoth and Spawn Scutter.
Spawn and Scutter died, so they left, so they went out, and then Behemoth couldn't get back in, so instead of just letting Spawn and Scutter go in,
although, in fact, I think they were pretty much done anyway, so...
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, right, I think also, I think Steely weren't exactly in great shape. They'd been battered around. Maybe they couldn't fix something in time or something. I mean, you don't know, do you? You never know with these sort of situations.
Yeah, you never know, but... Unfortunately, we end up losing Panic Attack and Steel Avenger in one round, because the producers are going, shit, this is actually going really quickly. Let's put a vengeance battle in. And then
I was going to say, this is one thing I'm glad that they did do, because obviously this happened earlier in the series, and they actually, they went back and they did say, oh yeah, let's make a vengeance battle out of this, and lo and behold, they did.
Yay!
What I never understood was, they turned around and said, you just in the actual battle, the tag team battle, he said, you just destroyed the Union flag. And he said, well, do they deserve to wear it? Now, I'm pretty certain it was Major Tom that had the Union flag on it, so surely it should be between Cum and Gedrix and Major Tom. Then again, that would be a shit battle.
Yes.
So maybe that's why
I think Ellie and Joe were actually wearing the flag itself.
That was the contention. I mean, the actual battle was kind of a joke as well, because I love how they don't care about the battle too much. I mean, the person Gedrix team coming against its team, they're great sports. They just don't care about taking it too seriously. Right from the beginning, never really cares. Yeah. And then they forget.
And then they went to the house robots.
Yeah, they forgot. they forgot it was a vengeance battle.
They went to the house robots. So then all of a sudden, oh yeah, it's a vengeance battle. Oh, in the pit you go. Bye. Actually, that was essentially the battle.
That's a good summation of the battle. It really wasn't anything that amazing apart from that. It was. Oh my god! I don't even know what the point of this battle was apart from to fill time.
The best bit though, post-battle interviews. That really upset you, didn't it, Joe? No.
No. Yeah.
The entire vengeance was a waste.
Oh, but yeah, that was a waste of a vengeance battle. I mean, I could talk more about it, but there's really no point because it was just that. I think Anson summed it better up than I ever could. Really, and let's go to the final because this has actually got some nice destruction in it. Yay!
Yay! This is what Spirit of Nightmare get torn apart.
Yeah. The one thing I remember, actually, looking back on this battle compared to how I remember is that I remember most of this battle is just disc-o-inferno driving around and not doing anything. It's just, like, it gets like a hit in the beginning, then it just kind of drives around, and then Spirit of Nightmare's like trying to catch up to them, and then they get hit, and then the flipper breaks.
Yeah, I'll admit, I think that's literally what it is. They're just really nonchalant about us. Oh, we'll just drive. Oh, we'll hit you if we must start. There we go. Yeah, we hit them once. Oh, what, they still coming up? Oh, bloody hell, all right, let's hit them again. That was essentially the final. But to be fair, to Spirit of Nightmare, it was durable, and it did last a heck of a good time before it died.
Oh god, yeah. It looked so beaten by this battle though. Like
It was almost split in half. It was.
Honestly, the chassis at the back was all caved in. It was in a real mess, wasn't it? Let's face it.
The little axes at the back were one of the axes just cut in half completely. The flipper was just warped and bent, and the frame fell off it. And it's just.
Here's my thing. I just think Spirit of Nightmare in this fight. I think this is the reason why they had to change the design so radically for Series 6. I think they probably would have done something similar to this, but the fact that Disc-o-Inferno absolutely shagged it, let's face it.
Yeah.
This is the reason why we had Raging Reality.
I'm glad we did, honestly, because this particular robot, I mean, while it did get some good flips on robots like Steel Avenger, for any robot that had a decent ground clearance that was low, like Panic Attack, it was not going to get underneath it.
Oh,
yeah, it's true.
I'll say this. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. To be honest, I think it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah,
yes, I think because Raging Reality was much more competitive. Even though it had that really thin flipper blade at the front, I think it was much more competitive than Raging Nightmare.
Well, I mean, two consecutive out of the arenas. That's nothing to be sneezed. That's impressive.
I mean, the only reason they lost in Series 6 because they're against the reigning champion Razor. So that's not the worst robot to go against. But in Series 7, match making the semi-final, which was cool. So
and again, lost to the reigning champion, which was an invertible machine. So I mean, to be fair,
they did it right. They did. They just seem to get very unlucky against the robots they face. But again, particularly with Raging Nightmare and Raging Reality, they were a lot more solid designs. I mean, in fairness, the original Nightmare / Spirit of Nightmare they're not bad designs. Again, they just had problems getting underneath.
No, they're not bad designs at all. It's just that they had.
Just need to update it.
I think the issue that they had was it was just too thin, and it was just too easy to knock around.
Yeah, and
I think also the design was a bit late.
It was, and the flipper wasn't that powerful. It was mostly just a flicker. It would flick a bit.
Yeah, I like how throughout the episode it was referred to as a refined wedge. By the end of it, it was not refined anymore.
No. Yeah, actually, that's the point I wrote down in my notes. What is a refined wedge? Is that just a wedge that's more elegant and classy? Or
I have no idea.
To me, it's just a wedge. So I don't know what's special about it, but
it's a right angle triangle flipped on its side. That's what the shape of this robot is. It's not a refined wedge.
Yeah, he did. So Disc-o-Inferno won the Annihilator, which is probably their crowning achievement of the series, because they got again lucky in Series 4. Were they in Series 6? I can't remember.
They were. They lost in the heat final to Bigger Brother.
Oh, I'm thinking. I always remember Series 7 more for how sad it was. I was getting grabbed by tough as nails and just.
I mean, the best part of what Disc-o-Inferno did in that fight, he hit someone and threw off a load of titanium sparks, and it just gets dropped in the pit.
Yeah, I don't remember who it hit now. I'm trying to remember, but yeah, it was.
Bod.
Oh, Bod. Oh God. Bod.
Yeah, that thing. That was a thing. Yeah.
That was a robot. Yeah, so that was the Annihilator 2. Out of 10, it's kind of hard for me to do it because we didn't see a full Annihilator, and the battles we saw were decent, but really only one of them was even.
I will say, like, having seen the first Extreme Annihilator, then watching this one, I feel spoiled by the first one.
I was.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you on that one. This one is worse, hands down.
I'd probably give this one a 6, maybe, because I mean, it's not 5 whether it's like completely average, but it had some good destruction and had a decent winner. But the lack of rounds, the filler Vengeance was alright just for the banter. Really, that was it. But the actual battles, I mean, 2 of them were just destructions of an easier opponent, and one was just one was actually legitimately an even battle. So I'd say 6 out of 10 place this one.
Mm-hmm.
What would you guys say?
I'd go a little higher. I'd go 7, maybe 7.5. It's in my opinion, it's a good episode, but it's not like out of this world. I mean, I think that the round 2.5 was a very, very good battle. But I'll admit the thing that really disappoints me about it was just the amount of dropouts.
Yeah.
Especially considering, we had 2 very promising flippers, Atomic and Bulldog Breed, who were heat finalists from the previous series and both did very well to get that far, who lost early due to being put up against two very eventual grand finalists. So losing to them is no small feat. So of course, to see them come back so much better in Extreme would have been nice to see them show off here, and unfortunately, we didn't see that. And that to me is the main gutting point, really. But that's just me.
Yeah, I can understand that.
For me, I'm going to go a bit lower. I'm going to rate it like a 5.
Okay.
I just didn't rate it. I just didn't rate it that highly. The problem I have with it is just like one of the fights is legit terrible. The Vengeance fight is legit terrible as a fight. I mean, the sportsmanship and the camaraderie is very good. It's very fun. It just
as a battle, it was a bit dog, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So that's just me, but it's not bad. I've seen worse episodes before.
It's like what you said, Sam. I guess you just spoil. I mean, everyone's kind of spoiled by the first Annihilator, which was almost perfect in some ways. In both format and the robots are just really great in it. So, but this one's just kind of
that was an amazing Annihilator.
It still is. I still think it's the best Annihilator personally, but it's just obviously it beats the Northern Annihilator for me just by a small margin. But it was, it was just a bit of an air episode. But
still, at least it wasn't the Series 7 Annihilator.
Oh God!
You could. What would you do to the Series 7 Annihilator, Anderson? Have you got?
If you go onto my channel Anderson9132, you'll see my very first episode of Robot Wars Guru was based on the Series 7 Annihilator. Blatant plugging, gotta love it.
As soon as you said that, I knew you were gonna do that. I knew it was gonna be.
In all fairness, I wasn't gonna do that. He set it up for me.
I opened it up for you, Anderson, and I'm glad that I did.
Yes.
Thank you. Teamwork is dream work. Anyway,
and
we've completely ruined this podcast.
Anything you want to promote, Sam, while you're at it?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to promote something for a friend of mine. Two of my teammates, Joe and Craig, they're big advocates of the Bristol Bot Builders page. They run competitions at Bristol. I think it's Bristol University. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, someone. The fact they do bodge builds. So I think the build budget is £25 or something like that. It's the amazing stuff that they do, and they have a lot of fun building outmates, and I think they're doing a Beetleweight event in July as well. So keep an eye out for that.
All right, that's pretty cool. Cool shout out.
See that was I think I'd promote someone else instead of myself.
I plugged something for a friend once. I plugged his TV in for him.
Oh, brilliant! Well done, mate.
Lovely, beautiful. I say before we go, I have something to say, but also I'll do the very, very, very brief preview of episode 15 of it, which is the last kind of proper episode of Extreme for the two specials at the end. In terms of classic episodes format, you obviously have the Sex System with Thermidor 2 and Napalm 2, Tornado and Pussycat, Antweight's getting destroyed, Hip the Disc losing to Woods, and Razor not letting go. That's basically what we have next time. If you want a good summation of what's on.
If you enjoyed if you enjoyed Frozen, you'll also enjoy Razor versus Tornado in the All Stars final.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Except
let it go! Some northern builder just shouting it.
Oh, you're so beautiful, Anderson. You should make an album out of that. But also, the thing I was going to say actually is, it's not actually more of a promo because obviously it's my channel as well, but it's actually a thing I want to mention is that some people have actually asked me, in messages and stuff, what are you going to do after Robot Wars is finished? Because obviously now it's gone. For now anyway.
Yeah.
For now. I mean, again, it could be taken by someone else. It's not happening. It doesn't happen yet. It might happen. It might not. I don't know. There's nothing confirmed at all. But say, for example, it just goes to Series 10, like I said. Obviously, I did the Series 10 reviews at the time, which I kind of wish I hadn't done, but oh well, I did it anyway, and I got views, who cares? I'm joking.
Jesus Christ!
I'm joking, but
to be fair, Sam, this is a website which you download videos to. I don't think anybody uploads a video saying, "Yo, don't want views on this one. Hope I get 0."
Yeah, I got my 300 views on it. But yeah. So people are wondering what I'm going to do after Road Wars, and the obvious one is to go BattleBots, obviously, because it's it's America's version, their big one as well as the endless debate, Robot Wars versus BattleBots, Robot Wars. But actually, BattleBots original was better. New one I'm not as big a fan of, but it's still alright. But the thing is, what am I going to do? And I will reveal actually now, in case I actually have told told a few people about this, but I am actually planning on doing Robotica next.
Yeah, boy.
Because I prefer it over BattleBots. I don't care. It's my second favourite robot combat series after Robot Wars, because it's basically what Series 2 should have done.
Yeah.
Basically. On Series 1 as well, but particularly Series 2 is more egregious for it. But yeah, it's just more fun. The host is hyper as fuck. The robots arranged from pretty cool...
I think the host is high as fuck as well, to be honest with you.
No, I know.
To be fair, he is Frank Zappa's son. I mean, there's got to be some sort of illegal substances running through his veins through birth anyway, let alone what else he's put into it.
Oh, right.
Doesn't surprise me, but yeah, he's got, they get a lot of robots that appear in Extreme Warriors as well, like the American version, like Panzer and those kind of robots, and Jumble Chompsalot / Jawbreaker, whatever what they call it. Those kind of robots that appear as well. And you get the really, really funny robots that just that look like from Series 2 Robot Wars, so you get a good balance, and there's no weight limit for some reason. So it's like middleweights going against super heavyweights. Like, you have like 50-pound robots going against 200-pound robots, and then they lose, and you wonder why. But, it's just a really fun series, so I think that'll be really fun to do after I got around to Series 9, and maybe doing like a little farewell episode, like, both for the series and me doing Robot Wars when I get to the end of it. I'll, if Robot Wars doesn't come back, of course, then, obviously then I'll, carry on doing that. Obviously, I'll still do the new series if they ever do a new one, but that's the plan, is Robotica next, and then probably BattleBots after that, and then might do some... I don't want to say I'm stealing Sam's idea of doing like a retrospective of a series, but doing one for Techno Games. For Techno Games, not Robot Wars, because Techno Games is a series I can't do an episode by episode of, because it's so boring in Series 1 particularly, or just doing episode by episode would be really lame, I think. Glad to be back, obviously. Thank you, Anderson and Sam, for being my little hosts for this. Like, it's almost like a little reunion.
It's my pleasure.
Wouldn't miss it for the world, mate.
Brilliant.
I would, however, for cocaine, but still.
Fair enough. And enjoy the intro, because I went at great expense recording that 5 seconds of footage. Anyway, I'm Jimjamatic, signing off.
I'm Anderson9132, the Rules Guru.
And I'm trying to find my way home.
Lovely.